Mr. Irontrader, it is Tuesday morning. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look here at the old NQ. Now look at the Nasdaq. You're down about 77, so we got to see if it's going to shake out here today, or we're going to have a turnaround Tuesday. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock, commodity ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin, your daily chart. Now let's take a little peek ski and see what's going on here. Okay, now you can see here we're still holding this key 8 SMA here. Now yesterday we came all the way and down here, but you notice we have all this big support going on here. Okay, so as this ran up here, we have that nice consolidation here, consolidation, and now we're really consolidating here. But again, when we make this new high like that, what it is now it's going to take you up to a next level kind of a situation. Okay, just like we had here. See where we had this little bit, and then we took up a new high, and then we have a little consolidation, a little higher, a little consolidation. Same way what we're doing here. So on the upside, let's take a look here. What we're watching is yesterday's high. That's that 107,530 level. Okay, so all we have to do is bring this bad boy right over here. Okay, so what do we have? 107,485. That was your top of your candle there. It came in very, very close to that. Now, your next level here we're going to be looking at is right here. It's going to be 108,475. And then we have 108,960, very, very key. Then we have your breakout at 110. Now, remember how fast this thing can move once this gets moving. If we crack this 110 on a closing basis, that's the key, not a pop and drop like we had here. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking at a closing above that 110. Then you're going to hit 115. You're going to come very, very quickly. Okay, and then we can venture it on up here to 120, and they have targets all over the place. But again, I'll do some fibs on here, and I'll show you exactly where we're going to go. But look at 115 as a target once we crack that 110 area. Now, we just got this sideways consolidation area here. Now, what we're looking at on the downside is 104,349 on a closing basis, okay? So you got to respect this 8-day, okay? See how nice it held here? It held here, and now look how nice that we're held here. Even though we cracked down lower, we're still closing above it. That's the key, okay? So you're looking at that 104,349 level. Now, if that's lost, we'll come right down here, 102,930. We'll come to yesterday's low at 102,350. We'll come down to the bottom at 101,705. We'll come down here to this candle right here at 101.60, and then this is your big target, is going to be this 99.54 level. Okay, now again, if that's lost here, you always want to come to the top of this candle here. That's going to be the 98.615 level, and then we just follow these candles all the way down here. You got 97.350. We come here at 95.70 level. Come down to the bottom, 93,685, and then we'll be looking for 100-day at 93,299 level. But right now here, you got to respect this 8-day. If that's lost, you got to respect that 21-day here for support. Now, right here, you can see how when that green turns blue like that, you're in an overbought condition. So again, not saying that you can't keep on going sideways here like we did here. Look how much we went sideways, went kind of like an up situation. But again, eventually it turns and she'll come right on down here. So just be a little bit careful up here and just watch this 8-day, because we've had a hell of a run here off the bottom of this candle at that 74,635 level. Okay, so just remember where that is there, and look where they are here today. Okay, so you're up there, what, 30,000 points? Holy schmoly. You know what I'm saying? You're really up there. So for today, just watch this 8-day on a closing basis, and then watch yesterday's low and yesterday's high. Because right now what we have is what they call an inside day. Your high and low is the inside of yesterday's candle. Okay, so that's what we're trading against. That's 107,530. That's the upside. And then at 102,350, there is the downside. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil and that natural gas. Okay, here we have the old crude oil. Now, it's really kind of like a big-time nothing burger going on here. However, when you look at this here, we have a possible bear flag building, okay? So just keep this in mind here, okay? See, pull, and then we have this flag building. Now, again, what we're watching here is we're watching this 8-day. Okay, 62.17. We get above that, we're going to be coming right to the top of this candle here at 62.70. This is going to be key. That's 62.91. Okay, and then we're going to come right up to this 50-day at 63.85 level. Now, we get above that, we're going to look right to this price channel at 64.87, and all that is just the top of that candle right there. Okay, but we have this bear flag. Now, if we can close above this 62.91, that would negate that bear flag pattern. Okay, so always remember that. Okay, it has to come out above this pole, close above, then we can go higher. But you got this big time resistance at that 63.85, and then right above it at that 64.87. Now, if we can get above that 64.87, then right here 65.22, that's going to be your target. Then we have 66.09. 66, 65, but we're really going to be looking for that 68.05, which will be your 100-day. Okay, so again, above that 50-day, we look at the price channel. Above that price channel, your big target is going to be the 21-day. Above the 21-day, you can come right to that 50-day at 69.61. Now, Memorial Weekend is coming right around the corner. It seems like this ought to be running up here, but with the T-Man in there, he does not like that big time high oil. He wants that $40, $50 oil kind of a situation. Now, on the downside here, we're going to be watching. This is going to be a very key level. It's going to be this 21 SMA here at 61.01. Very, very crucial. If that's lost, you're going to come right here to the bottom of this candle at that 60.47. That's your next support level. Then we'll come down to the bottom here at that 59.89 level. Okay, but again, on bear flags, usually when those run, they drop pretty hard. So then we want to come down here to this 57 level. Then we have a 56 level. Then we come down here to this 55.33 retest, and then we have 55.12. Now, we lose 55.12, it's man out the window time. Okay, it's 53, 50, 47, and 43. Now, in this time frame, I don't know if that's really going to happen for the simple reason you got seasonality in play. You're going to have summertime driving coming up here, and then we got going into hurricane season. So we got to see how this all going to shake out. So I don't have any opinion. Basically, trade. So what we're trading here today is just between this 21-day here on the bottom, that 50-day on the top. And this 8-day is just sitting in the center being awful annoying. Okay, so the 8-day crossed over that 21-day. We're hanging on, but we have indecision candle yesterday, another indecision candle going right on now, right on here. And I just don't think you got the juice here to rally up higher. Now, again, any kind of disruption, any kind of a war, any kind of like that will send crude much, much higher. Don't get me wrong. But let's just see if we have normal conditions. This we just have like a sideways action. But watch this bear flag that's building here. Very, very key. But again, we get above that 62.91, that negates it. Okay, 50, yeah, you're sitting dead center in the middle here. We're not high, we're not low, we're not nothing right there. The green is over your red here, but really, really have just a sideways kind of action. Now, Natty Gas, woo, she came right on down. Okay, so now look at this series of lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so now we're trying to rebuild this. Trying to rally right on up here. Now, yesterday we had this low of 3.09 level. Okay, so we never made it down to this gap, which was 305. Okay, so that's what we're watching on the downside. Watch that 305. There's your gap. 298 your fill, and then 285 here is your retest on the downside. Upside, this 200-day, you can see she's smacking right into it. 318. That's going to be the key. We get above that, we're going to go to yesterday's high. There's that gap at 327. That's going to be resistance. Then we look to the bottom of the candle at 330. There's your fill, and that's going to be resistance. And then we have your 21-day at 3.37. Now, your 8-day is sitting right above this, 344. You can see how she's rolling over. 50-day, cross the 100-day, she's rolling over here. There's still nothing bullish about this unless we can start getting above this 21-day, 8-day, 50-day, 100-day, and then we can come up to this 384. But I just don't see any kind of a situation. But we had a nice, good run up here, and this is what I was looking for. This 3.829 came up to 3.84, so it came within pretty much a penny of what that was. Okay, so that's a resistance. So always look to the left of your chart, because what we're looking for, if it can smack up there, then we look at for that 384 level now. We look for that 393. 320, but we're really looking for that 325 level at a retest off of this double top situation. Okay, now this here, we're trying to get a little curl up here again, but we're fighting it the whole way. Your green is still below your red, so we got to see if you could crack above that 200-day. We could have a nice trade going right here to that 21-day. So let's just see how this all shakes out. Now, yesterday I thought I was going to get myself a nice trade going up, and it actually was a really good trade with that KOLD going on down. So right now I'm flat. I have no position, okay, and I'm looking for a trade either long here, okay. If we crack above that 318, I'll be a buyer and take a run up to that 337 level at 21-day. Now, if we lose yesterday's low, I'll jump right back in that KOLD here, and I'll be watching this gap, that fill, and this 285. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old future on Nasdaq NQ. Okay, here we have the old Nasdaq futures here. Okay, now. You can see here we had this really, really nice bottom situation. So when you look at this, see how this oversold here. we got oversold condition here, and then we had this really nice rally up. Once we jumped above this 8-day, look at how nice it was. Look how look at it. See this all the way on up here? So you got to really respect this 8-day simple moving averages because of the past going on, okay? So unevenly yesterday came down, but held that 8-day. So this is what we're looking on the downside here. 21,189. That's going to be very, very key. Then we look at yesterday's low here at 21,125. Now, if that is lost here, we're going to come right to the bottom of this candle here at 20,818. But realistically, your target's going to be right there at that 20,520. That's your 100-day. And then we have your 200 SMA here sitting at 20,380. Now, you can see here how nice this 21-day is just on the move. You crack that 50-day, and now we're looking for that 200-day and that 100, which could put a really nice floor underneath here if this comes right on down. Right now, we got this consolidation sideways kind of action. We got to see how it shakes out. But you see how these candles are starting to get really little chunks here. So you don't have that big volume coming in here like we had here, kind of a situation, okay? So we had this big volume, and then we put this bull flag situation in here, okay? So just a matter of time, when she cracked up above that 8-day, it says you got to get in. Look at that, all the way on up here, okay? So always watch for patterns, okay? Very, very key. Now, here we are, 21,544. That's what we're trading against, okay? That's going to be your upside. Now, if we can get above that, what we do is we just keep following these candles on all the way on up here. Your next level is going to be 21,813 level. We come up here, top of this candle here, you're looking at 21,862. And then we always want to look here to the left of the chart here. You're looking at 22,124 level. We'll come to the top of there at 22,245. And then we have 22,319. Your big test up here is 22,450. Obviously, if you crack that, then you'll be having in the sights of that 2,500 mark. But let's just see, okay, you got to take one level at a time. But right now, we've had this huge run. So just watch that 8-day. That's going to be key. Now, when you look at this, the Nasdaq, the futures, you look at the Dow futures, the S&P, all the charts are pretty much the same kind of situation, the same way with the actual Dow, the S&P, and the Nasdaq here. So I just pick out the Nasdaq because this is always my favorite trade. Now, you can see here where we get into this overbought condition. See how that green turning blue? Yeah, overbought conditions here. See, I like when it's down in this area here because then we know we have a long way to run. But yesterday it was actually turned out to be such a great trading day that everything was on the downside, okay, and it looked like a disaster Friday after hours and then Sunday night. But it had a really good turnout. See, that's my kind of market. I like it when you open up on a Monday and the market is just slammed down because that's a buying opportunity. When a market opens up, you're kind of like torn. I mean, should I jump into this? Should I take a short? Should I kind of situation? But that's why we trade the charts and let the charts tell you what you want to do. Okay, I'll be back here midday trading. We'll take a look at some stocks here. And remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.